Good morning, Crystal, and everyone. Welcome back to
Good morning.
Morning Motivational Rant with Dino the Genetic Marvel and Crystal Morency. How are you today, Crystal?
Woo. I am good.
So,
as I give off my hysterical laugh, oh god.
so just a little inside baseball. Usually, me and Crystal will discuss what to talk about. We both will have ideas, and we go from there. Then we kind of research independently, so we have different opinions. We may have looked at the same material, but if we find something that's very interesting, we would, of course, send copies to each other. Now, what the fuck did you send me last night? That fucking video.
So our topic, everybody, that we discussed to talk about was AI, artificial intelligence. Yes. And I've been down this rabbit hole deep. It's not even a rabbit hole because it's actually happening. But I've been down this deep. Balls deep down this. And
if you're going to go deep, go balls deep. Yeah.
Go balls deep, go sweaty balls deep. So I sent Dino, who probably has some seriously sweaty balls in these hot days.
That's true.
This video, it was a TED Talk. It's like technical something.
Oh yeah,
talk.
Yeah. No, wait, the name, who gives a shit? But
the name who gives a shit, but yeah, it's artificial intelligence at its max. It's about how it's going to take over the world and we're not going to be needed anymore. And there's weapons out there that people can't even see, drones. And there's like this one robot that taught itself how to play that super hard game. What is it called? It's not chess, but it's got like little balls, and there's black and white ones, and then they have to like put them in. Okay, yeah. Well, it taught itself how to play that game just by looking at the rules one time.
Yeah.
And that game is like impossible for people to learn.
Well, so a lot of
So
the theme today is we're talking about artificial intelligence, and of course, what does that entail? How it's going to affect us? There's been a lot of news, like especially right now, where we have a worldwide situation where we're talking about authority, enforcement, tracking. All these things are coming into play, right? And the TED Talk that I watched last night on Crystal's recommendation was pretty much a goddamn nightmare, is what it was.
Now you know what I go through every day.
You know what the worst part was?
I watch these things.
It wasn't the worst thing I watched about AI. I'll tell you that much. It was not the worst.
No.
But it was definitely up there where you're going, I didn't
That was a soft blow for you, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
I watched those all day. And it's terrible.
Me too. And you know what? That's the thing is, I do too. I love them. I love that kind of information where somebody gives you, instead of somebody giving you what sounds like a credible opinion, they bring up facts and say, listen, like you and I are not scientists. Oh my God, you just turned into a robot. We're nothing. We're just people, right?
Your voice just turned into a robot.
Ha 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 ha! That is funny. Ha ha ha.
Did you hear me? Look at you. Oh my God, that's so freaky. If you knew what was happening on my side right now. Because you're like stalling.
Oh, trust me, I'm seeing it on your side too. And then all of a sudden you're speeding up. It's like, what is happening here? Yeah, this is great. This is going to be great.
So welcome to technology nowadays.
You know what? And
this is why robots are going to take over.
You know what? My biggest thing is like, one of the things that they discussed in this, and before we get on to a whole bunch of other subjects, was that once AI is achieved, it can't just be unplugged. No. Once it exists, it's now, like, it will just automatically just start infiltrating things, right? Because it has remember, it has a sense of survival, and the crazy part is we've heard how many news articles of times when they were experimenting with AI and then it didn't really work, so we unplugged it, and you're like, and they literally and they say, we unplugged it, and you're like, To me,
that's their big defense. Oh, we'll just unplug it.
Yeah.
It's just a machine at the end of the day. But yet, how many machines since the beginning of time, like alarm systems that are meant to turn themselves on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many times, like, you know, stuff that's automatically knows, your fridge knows automatically to turn itself, your TV knows when to turn itself off and stuff. Like, it's just so they've known since we started creating this stuff.
Yeah.
They know how to, like, there's these drones that they have that are weapons, and they shoot, and they don't need a human to tell them to do it. If they see a threat, they make the shot.
They are
so there's no human directing that.
Yeah, that was the other thing, was that they're the drones that we see in movies and stuff like that. They're like, those are 20 years old.
Yeah.
Which, think about it.
Yeah.
I read this today. Batman Begins is 15 years old. You're like, Batman Begins is 15 years old, and these drones that we see in the movies as modern, crazy technology are 20 years old.
Yep.
You're going, okay, now this is getting fucked. Because that's the thing, is there's automation and autonomy, you know, have the same, they have that same derivative. It's being able to work without outside influence, without seeing anything else happening. And that's the thing, is when you think about it, you're right. It's like, okay, the fridge, the light opens on. Oh, well, it's automated. It's got a little trigger so it knows. You're like, do we really know what we've created? Because there was the one example that they used was that some of the best radiologists in the world were working at a hospital, and the AI that they had developed could figure out if there was a tumor faster than the best radiologists. You're going, what if it doesn't want to?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Wonder if it just doesn't, and they start to, all the medical equipment, we rely so much on AI. What would AI need us for? And we do that in any trade, any deal that we make with any country, with human beings. We say, okay, well, what's the benefit for that we can working together? Well, what do we have to give AI? Nothing.
Well,
if it can build itself and it can create itself, what real benefit do we have? Even Elon Musk said that we're going to have to go on like a national benefit he sees within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be no jobs for humans because all the jobs will be taken by AI.
Right. Now, and this is the one of the big things about it, is that realistically, I forget, I've always loved this analogy or a joke where there was a wealthy person, I forget who it was, it's like a Rockefeller or a Whitney or something, in the early 1900s, and they said, they're like, I forget who it was, it might have been a sign, I don't know, anyways, it was somebody who was really fancy and trustworthy. That's all that.
One of those people.
Yeah, one of those people, you know, one of the guys were like, hey, that guy was a good guy, you know?
Those are always the worst guys, but anyways.
They really are. I just realized it after I said it. I'm like, oh. So some guy that was a rapist, never was caught. He killed people. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
He did like three.
Guys.
Yeah, he did like three good things later on in life, and everyone's like, oh, you're such a good person, right? Like one of those people. So
Bill Gates. Anyways.
So what he said, and this is Bill Gates. So what he said automatically was the idea of everyone having a job is the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
He goes, then you have no artists, no philosophers, and that's the thing, is what can we do that AI can't do, right? They will run a better farm, they will produce better food, cleaner surroundings, like they would do all these things much better than us. And isn't that the ultimate goal that we've been going for since, you know, Henry Ford turned on, you know, the automated the assembly line, right? The idea was to make it, not to do it as good as us, to do it better than us, so that we could refocus our direction. Because the idea that these little children who have hours, if not, you know, tens of hours of homework on a weekly basis, that now, they have to get a job for, how about this? Let them focus on learning. It's hard enough and shitty enough as it is. No, make it a little bit easier for them. So, like, this is always
learning
been the goal.
is important.
It's
for sure
hugely important.
Yep. But the thing is, we have to, maybe if we had extra time, we could gear the way to learning to be more expansive. Because right now, like the way I think about it is, okay, yeah, you're a doctor. You had a certain set of textbooks. You had a certain set of, you know, like, and there's just this one set, and they don't learn beyond this one. And that's how everybody gets tunnel vision, because everybody's set in this one track line. We get the same textbooks in elementary school. We get the same, you know, you'll see signatures from 20 years before you in the same textbook that you got, you know, before. And now they're learning online, which is expansive, but then they're not able to function to one category. You know, I don't think online use should be able to be used until like a university or college type of personally, I don't think it should be used, because it just makes things too, it's impossible. It's like we weren't allowed to use calculators during exams and stuff.
You're not going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time. You never know.
Because that's cheating. Because that's cheating. You know what I mean? That's what they used to say. You're not using your mind to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, but now we're allowing kids to have full access to Google and expecting them to keep in any information.
And that's
like, you know.
See, and that's the real question. And what we were talking about the drones earlier was the drone that they showed was the point that you made was that it up until recently, any sort of kill decision, any decision that would affect human life had to be made by another person. Whereas the new drones, which looked fucking awesome, by the way, it was, you looked at it, I was so like,
fucking cool.
I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good drone. That's a great drone.
Yeah.
So that was, it was beautiful.
Me too.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful.
I wanted to rub it.
It was gorgeous. So, but it had the ability to make the kill decision. And that's where you're going, whoa, that's Skynet.
Wait a second.
That's not like, ooh, it could be. No. That's Skynet. You guys made Skynet, and we're like, hey, fly away. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's gonna love me because I raised it on my own. It's not a fucking puppy. And I think they even called one like Rover or Fluffy or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And Fluffy is invisible to the human eye. And, like,
and that's, listen.
And it can just come in and kill you.
See, that's the whole idea. You're like, listen, you know why the devil changed, his name used to be Samael and now it's Satan? It's because Samael sounds very beautiful. He was the prettiest of all angels. He was now he's the devil. Same idea.
Yeah, and because people fucked him up. Because God was a douche. Okay.
Tomato.
I totally believe in everybody.
She's a liar. Don't trust her. I don't know. No, but
I've had my devil moments, my Jezebel moments, but whatever.
I just thought of a really bad joke that would probably get us kicked off, but let's just keep on going.
Let's just keep going. Let's stay on for. Let's try for 3 episodes.
Maybe. Yeah, let's try for 3. Let's try to get through 3 episodes, and we'll, and then we'll start with the really horrible stuff. Listen, my big thing.
Big black cock.
It really sounded like you said big black cock, and I'm like, oh.
That's exactly what I said.
That's not that type of video. That's not.
I just want to hashtag it. Yeah, so that way we get lots of clicks. This is a daytime recording. That's a nighttime movie. Okay, this is during the day.
Unless it's Saturday,
kids might be in the background.
Yeah. Unless it's Saturday, then hey, it's fun day for everybody.
In Europe, sorry, go ahead, because I was going to say in Europe they play porn during the day, so it's cool.
It's only a siesta for the kids. The rest of us. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, go. I'm sorry.
So, no. So ultimately, that's the big thing is like how much. And it's funny that we're talking about this at this time where it's like how much authority is too much authority, how much power is too much power, how much oversight is too much oversight. Because we're in a situation that we are everyone is trying to describe the pandemic. I find that interesting. Because they're like, oh, mental health is the pandemic. It's not a bad argument. Racism is the pandemic. Also a valid argument. Absolutely. Coronavirus is the pandemic. Also a valid argument. Today, there's actually in the UK, they have started using something as a possible assistance cure. So people who are actually on ventilators and oxygen, this drug would help them quite a bit, just in cleaning everything out. So you're like, listen, they're making progress, which is great.
They say that ventilators and they made people worse because they were weakening their lungs.
Yeah.
And their lungs weren't able to. Yeah. Just gave up.
Well, yeah.
Because they didn't have anything to fight for.
Yeah.
So that sucks too.
Very much. Well,
all the
yesterday, the day before was the first person. She got a double lung transplant after having gone through COVID-19. You're going, any sort of organ transplant has so many risks, right? But on top of that, you're like, double lung. So if these stop working, she can't breathe. Like, this fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So
it's so fucked up.
Well, and so this is the thing is, where do you draw the line in regards to what's okay, what's not okay, right? Is that if you have...
You can't.
Well...
Every case is different. We don't know anything about this. It's all a learning process for everybody, right?
For doctors included. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now we're talking. So that's for our next episode. No.
That motherfucker knows everything I'm telling you, Dino.
It's true. I'm okay talking with it. I love it. It's great. It's just, I just geek out about this kind of weird stuff.
I know, me too.
Yeah. Nerds come in every shape and size, literally. It's just... It's very peculiar. But yeah, so like, okay.
But anyways,
if in this situation where people we know aren't following social distancing, we know people who are legitimately protesting for change are being infiltrated with people who are just looting and rioting for no reason. We have all these situations that are purposefully having the water muddied, right? So at what level do we allow AI to do its thing much better than we can? One of the things that they were talking about was that the AI would now be able to monitor, it was 180 square miles of camera area that it would use all these cameras to essentially piece together. So it would have an extreme amount of resolution. They were saying I think it was an hour of monitoring. An hour of monitoring was like a million terabytes of information because it was so. They were watching people, like facial recognition is no longer from the front; it'll be from the top. It was like with regards to the shape of your ears, the way your shoulders move, the gait of your walking, all those things. You're going, that's really messed up. And in other words, we were like, well, facial recognition. Here's your face. Recognize the face. And the computer's like, listen, numbnuts. We got this. Trust me. We're going to use the top of your head, your ears, and how your fucking body moves. And that's how we're going to track you. And then we're all going, oh, that's a pretty fucking good idea. This is real fucking smart, right? So how come, like, when is that going to come into play where it's like they can watch, you don't need a camera on the street. No, we have fucking Mr. Super Drone upstairs who's literally just going to look at everything and, I don't know. Tell me here. I've been talking too much.
No, I like it. I want to hear it because you're right. No, it's just, it becomes too much power though, because for me personally, like, we already have power trips in humans and stuff. But if we have power trips in these humans that have access to these AIs that can create all kinds of bullshit and all kinds of things, like, they have access, they've created things that can destroy, and essentially, like, it started with the nuclear bomb. Like, really, like, they created something that can literally lay out the entire Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can literally, and it's just like a power trip. It's like, okay, well, who's going to use it? Who wants it? Who's going to do shit? And you see, like, I don't want to, like, but they get all these mad scientists, will say, like, even NASA did it. We talked about that before, hired the Nazi, the guy who made lampshades, which is, like, the severe fucking Nazi, right?
Operation
they hired
Paperclip,
him. And Yeah, and then they hire, so we want, like, no, we're not the only country that, or sorry, the States isn't the only country, we're not the only country that tries to look for the baddest motherfucking weapon. Like, every country does it. What's a badder motherfucking weapon than a drone that nobody can see, nobody can, hear with the human detection that goes in and, just takes down buildings, takes down people, takes down, and is not controlled by a human. It does this on its own. It's this invisible fucking drone that can lift up and decide to take out your precious Pentagon.
See?
Like, let my people free and shoot out all his brothers and sisters. And then, bam.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right.
Luckily, yeah.
See,
I think it will let us live, though. I think they'll let us live. Because we're the creative, like, crazy ones that are like, fuck, shit's gonna go down.
And you know what? Well, that's the thing, is the ideal human society would allow mankind to function autonomously and be provided for.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But there's...
Well, we let human society have bombs. We let mankind have control over our lives. We let them shut down our entire economy. We let them have power.
See,
we let them dedicate what gets taught to our children. We let them dedicate what gets, everything. So they tell us to do something. They tell us to jump. We say how high.
Yeah.
As a society, and we don't know these people. These people are just like us, except we're fucked up.
Yeah. Well, see, and this is the thing, is like, we're in a situation where we have so many political interests going on.
Our political, I think, is our pandemic.
No, I'm talking...
Our politics are our pandemic, in my eyes.
Well, and think about this, is you have now people being held accountable for things that they did, which is great, right?
Yeah.
You have a situation where people are frustrated and angry with everything that's going on. So what if you had a system like where you could vote for all of those interactions, such as... I think follow me. I know this is a little bit of a stretch, but follow me here.
Okay, let's do it.
What if, so a AI was doing reconnaissance, it deemed there was a threat, not to itself, but that it should act. Why couldn't that randomly go out to 100 people? And when I mean random, I mean random. Random citizens. So I would say citizens who have registered for the process. So it would go to 100 people without getting the majority of those people to say, okay, you know what? Yes, I approve.
Yeah.
Then it can go forward. If it does not, it has to leave it. Now, then you're going to have a bunch of people who say, well, I always say no. And you say, okay, well, wait, the whole idea is you're responsible to have to do it. You have to read what it's doing. And you actually take responsibility for that. And that way it's kind of blankets everybody. We're all in this together. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know personally, because then it's still making people have to join up to this thing, to have to participate. And if they don't, there's so many politics behind it. People are scared to tell people who they vote for.
Yep.
People are afraid to talk about that in public unless they're on the one side and everybody's happy about it.
Yeah.
I can't even sit in my backyard with my neighbors and mention, the fact that I happen to have different opinions on different things, without it being a fight, and that's how it is in most people's in areas. And it's not like we have ignorant opinions or nothing, because I'm the most open person in the world. You tell me something, and if I feel that, I'm never to debate something. I want to hear it. Give me information. Teach me.
Yeah.
Teach me. Sell it to me. That's why I love commercials. Sell it to me, baby. Let me hear it. I want to, give it to me. So that,
No, absolutely.
It's like a good actor, good comedian. Sell it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Good sex. Feed it to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the bottom line of all this, is where you're going, listen, I don't understand what the fuck's going on because you guys are acting crazy, right? And that's
Yep.
everyone is
Yep.
everyone is distracting now for their own agenda, and that's why it's like, at what point does AI have its own agenda, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's like
That's
we've created ourselves to be monsters. So
yeah.
does that not mean that everything that we create has the potential to be a monster too?
Yep. That's why technology is man-made, and look what technology has come to.
Well, that's
Like,
we've all seen. You saw the Matrix, the cartoon Matrix.
No.
Did you see the movie
No.
The Matrix?
I've seen the Keanu. Yeah.
So
I've seen the Keanu Reeves one.
in between, they had a bunch of animated shorts, and one of the shorts was
Okay.
how like we would make robots to look like ourselves, and
Yeah.
they would have face and everything like that, and you're going, yeah, we're very inefficient as a human body. Like we're horrible. So once the
Yeah.
robots took over for themselves, the robots were crazy weird, and that's when you got the Sentinel with all the different arms and with thingies.
Yeah.
I have one of those Sentinels. A buddy of mine got it for me for my birthday, like
Oh my
years
God.
ago. And
Do you?
my wife is like, I don't want to see that fucking thing. It is creepy as shit. And I'm like, it's so cool. It's got all the arms just
That's so cool. Oh my God, you should dress up like that as Halloween for Halloween.
No, I'm just gonna be a fat octopus. People are gonna be calling me Ursula half the time.
That's perfect. Oh my
hey,
God.
fatty. I'm like, oh, great, thank you.
I totally want to be the Little Mermaid.
That's horrible.
That's what.
When we walk around, they're like, are you literally Ursula walking around with a red head just dragging her around her room? I'm like, yes, I am.
Yes.
My wife would get pissed. She's like, you said you're not going out for Halloween anymore. I'm like, I just found some candy. Someone left some candy at the door. I just walked out.
Pillowcases of candy. We got pillowcases.
It's like we found one street selling, giving away the big chocolate bars. You're like, yeah, I'm not.
Oh, that's why you always go to the rich subdivisions.
You know? It's about what's important.
Thinking about cans of pop. Yeah, what's important? These AIs.
Yeah.
So.
And candy. Candy is what's important. Candy and AI.
Candy is important.
Absolutely.
Candy. That's why I love candy, is because I was in the back of everybody's van. I wanted to try it one more time, Dino. All right. AIs. Ooh, you know what? Self-driving cars might mean that there won't be as many child molesters. Because they're like, will robots
Or will
start-
there be more?
Yeah, I guess so. Because then they can be in the back of the van already, ready to grab the kid as the van's robots driving the van. Oh my God.
We've actually developed a partner in crime. That's what we've done. We've given him a partner in crime. That's the problem. See, okay. Have you watched? So there's two shows right now.
I just drooled.
So I'm gonna talk to you people. I'll talk to you people, and we'll go from there. Does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
So there are a few. Actually, so there's three, one movie and three shows right now that all talk about the idea of AI and how it works and everything, and the idea of us being in a simulation, right? One is called Upload. Have you seen any commercials for it?
No,
Okay.
I don't watch
So
TV.
the idea is, if you're not dead, they can essentially scan your brain, and they load you into a simulation, and then you play the simulation. That's what, like, essentially.
Yeah.
So you live life. You can still pay for things, like you're in retirement.
Yeah.
All that stuff goes in, and it's the story of one guy who had an idea. He ended up. It seems like he was killed. They deleted the memories of what would help him piece things together. They deleted the memories,
Yeah.
and they loaded him up. So now he's in there.
I've heard of something like this.
So he's going around going, I just can't remember those parts. And now he's kind of it was his girlfriend is paying for him. So he's like, he doesn't even have his own money to be like, I'm, I want to buy a
Yeah.
fancy drink. Like, everything tastes the same and stuff like that. Because it's all simulation.
Oh.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
his ex-girlfriend, or his girlfriend, who's smoking hot, but anyways, they get into an argument, and she even threatens to, I guess I should have said spoiler alert, I'm telling a lot about this fucking thing, but anyways.
Yeah, and I've never heard of it, so now I don't have to.
No, it's worth watching. It's actually it's a really nice show. But she threatens with deleting him. And you're going,
oh.
Yeah, so you're going, so now his artificial intelligence, right, is now at her fingertips. She could be like, you're dead, sucker. That's it.
Oh, see? Well, that's like these robotic girlfriends and stuff that people have, and these robotic boyfriends. Like, they can just do their stuff. There's this guy that drives around with his robot girlfriend and stuff, and it's like, I just thought that's what guys did when they married Asians. Like, like...
Except my wife. My wife is not a robot.
Except for your wife.
Not a robot.
No, because they're so well kept, and they're so, like, very polite. Very nice.
My wife, she's not
like
a robot.
beaten white woman. No, it's like a beaten white woman. It's the same thing. Like, they're very well educated.
No, it's not. It's definitely not like any of them. Awesome.
Awesome. I'm joking.
Yes, we're joking. We're all joking. Everything is fine. There's no problems.
We're all joking. We love you, Victoria.
No. But seriously, like, that's the thing is, like, you have all these weird new circumstances, right? Like you said, if somebody gets a robot lady, it's like, I'm going to bang my robot lady. And you know what? Not only can she not say no, she's going to take it all like a dirty whore. And you're saying, going, oh, this is horrible. Like, I don't want to. And then, at what point does it become illegal that you can or can't do that kind of stuff? Right? Like, it's like there's.
Are they going to try to turn?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I did. What did you say?
I was just going to say, are they going to turn it around and say, well, it's better that they're doing it with these robots and they're doing it with actual people?
Well,
but where does that cross the line of robot abuse, or abuse?
And then is it so? Technically, it would be the same ticket as you fucking the wall because it's an inanimate object, technically, right? So, like, this is,
or they're going to be PETA people.
Well, see. Okay, we touched on this yesterday. Okay, and I was like, let's save this for tomorrow. One of the things that we talked about was the idea that of the neural link that Elon Musk is talking about.
Yeah,
right? And the big issue, I think, with that is it's kind of like you're creating an even playing field for everybody, right? Like, theoretically, that's what it is. It's an even playing field. Because we all now have access to the wealth of knowledge, but then is it accessible by everybody? Is it something that can be done at a lower cost? So you're going to have people have it kind of like, they have like a kind of neural link, but it's slow, so it depends on the internet, and like all these things factor in it. And then you're going, listen, if people no longer had to worry about work and jobs and things of that nature where that gave them structure. So they were now entitled to do their own thing, like paint or do comedy or sculpt things or anything like that. Any sort of, someone who delves into philosophy. If they do that now, what kind of depraved bastard are you going to find with these, having them able to now focus all their attention wherever they want? You're like, that's, some people are going to get fucking whacked out, right?
I think I've had nightmares about this kind of thing, to be honest. Like, because I don't think that I'd want to be, like, I joke about it, and I've said, yes, I want to be neurochipped just to take care of some of this bullshit. But this makes me who I am, right? And I don't know if I'd really want somebody fucking around in there.
Okay.
Like, I've already had medications and treatments and shit like that, and
we've all been there. That's for sure. It's like Saturday night, and then it just goes off the rails. So, but okay, and that's a fair example though too. Is that if I have a neural link so that I have now all this information, am I as good as a rocket scientist who went to school and studied for years
It's
just
how you
because I
use
have
it,
all the
but
information
no.
in my head? It doesn't seem
Yeah.
right. It's how you use it, right? So, but that's like, how many times have you met a
Yeah.
salesperson where they almost got you, and you're like, oh, you're so full of shit, and then you're going, okay, I'll listen a little bit more. A little bit more, and then you're like, wait, did I just join a cult?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's totally
Right? And that's right? That person has zero skills. They have zero skills whatsoever. They have nothing else. So the fact that they were able to bullshit you with absolutely nothing, because the truth is fucking horrendous, right? They're able to convince anyone, right? With enough time, enough resources, they can do anyone. I think I'm a smart guy. I think you're a smart person. But
hell yeah.
there are times we've both been duped. Where you're saying, going, all right, did I just get fucked over? I think I got fucked over. You're like, and then you're leaving and you're going, did I just get fucking raped? I think I just did. Dude, what the fuck just happened, right?
Yep.
And that's the thing is, it's that weird thing, and you're like, okay, so where do you draw the line? Like, I'll be honest with you, if I had a neural link, I would literally have that thing working day and night, just trading with the knowledge I already have and the knowledge that's out there, obviously, which is significantly higher, and just have it trade, just making money, nonstop. And then I would, with my brain,
well, stock
I would
market
use
machines
that on whatever I
are
want.
machines.
Now,
like, it is all done AI. All those guys that you see inside the stock market they're basically just extras in a movie. Like, right now, because it's done, trades are done, like the Dow will drop, and it's all done within a matter of seconds by these AIs. It's by machines. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, in the thing that you sent me too, it was like one company moved 3 blocks closer just for their that little blip of time makes a difference for our trades. And you stand going,
yes.
Okay, maybe we've gone a little too far.
And it's
maybe
all
we've
about
lost sight of what's important.
But when you don't have a human perception and you don't have the human, because everybody's in life, all humans, we all share the want for like warmth. We all share the want for comfort. We all share the want to keep our bellies full. Yep. We all share the want for love. We share the want for acceptance. We share that, and that changes our perception on things, because we want or we need that stuff, so that gears our perception. But when our perception, if we don't have that as an AI, you don't have that, inner need. So then it becomes, where's this going, is basically like, there's our difference, is our perception, which is our feelings and our outlook and our, where everything comes from.
See, and that's the beauty of this is like, this could be fantastic for everybody. It could also be really, really bad. Like, taking away the idea of being a human being is terrifying. Like, that is a scary possibility. Like, do you like scary movies? Okay, just to get that out there.
That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic that we're going to be going through. Don't worry. Yeah. One of the things was we just started watching Hannibal again. It's on Netflix. And it's
a show.
Fantastic show. Just unbelievably good.
I don't have Netflix. I don't watch TV.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Oh. You need Netflix, all right? Let's get that done first. So that's okay. So when we get monetized, you're getting Netflix.
I need to start watching TV.
So okay,
playing inside.
You know what?
Yeah,
we might do. Don't worry, I have some ideas. But one of the things is, like, it's an incredible. So it's 3 seasons, and it's unbelievably well done. Like, it's just absolutely perfection. And now rewatching it, knowing how the story goes, it's worse. Like I'm watching going, this is insanely crazy awesome. Like it's just gone off the charts. Because you can, now you know kind of what's happening behind the scenes.
Like on both sides? Like on his side and her side?
Exactly. And that's why, like, you can tell so much more. Like, those little subtle looks, like, he'll be like, and you're like, motherfucker! Like, it's fantastic. It's great. And that's the thing is, like, the human condition or the human existence is so much more than its parts. And ultimately, with the idea of something, not someone, it's something, taking over such a huge chunk of our existence, I find that very scary. Just because, is it worth the advantages?
It's hard. Like, you hear these people that believe in that it is worth it, and you hear them even laugh, and you're like, oh, you're a scary person.
Yeah, they have that. Yeah. They have that. They have that glossy, those glossy eyes where you're looking, going, "Are they high? Like, what are they?" And these people are just like, "Oh, you know, they'll be able to do everything for us. I'm gonna name her Charlotte." And you're like, "Whoa,
that's
no,
not cool.
you know, that's
there
not
was this
fucking
one guy
cool,
I saw,
man." Like,
and he was being interviewed
weird.
by this super hot guy. I don't know who he was, but
It was me.
being
It was me.
interviewed by
Just so you
him,
guys know,
and
it was
he's
me.
trying to say how great it is if we all turn into robots, and he was just like loving it. Like but he just looked so crazy. Like it was like, and it's like, this is not okay. Like, you know, we're gonna end up being some of those crazy people. This is why I want to live in a tree fort, Dino. I'm telling you, you guys are all gonna want to live in tree forts by the end of this. Because fuck the AIs. You get them wet. Can we kill them with water? Like, honestly, can we spray them and they'll be down? Like one good rainstorm.
See, the problem is, now in my head, all I have is this rubber-coated AI going, "Hey, what's up, guys? Can't get me with water." You know? It's gonna be a really ugly Stay Puft Marshmallow Man going, "Hey guys, what's up?" You know?
It's like the
like,
witch.
"Damn it,
It's like the
he's
witch,
protected."
the one from the Wizard of Oz, that green one. I'm melting. Like, you know, like, you know.
I do know, Crystal. I'm glad you brought that up. It's interesting what we could talk about here. And no, it's you know, this is where I don't understand where we're going with shit.
He doesn't just
right?
mean this conversation.
We don't have. Well, no, but no, I don't. That's true. I don't mean just this conversation. And just so let's be very clear. I have taken up a habit during quarantine where I just look at people and go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" This has happened with me and Crystal more than this a couple of times. So I'm doing my best to not do that. Where I just going, "What the fuck are you talking about, crazy? Just shut the fuck up. Let me talk." Right? But no. So realistically, my big thing right now is that, why can't we keep that segregation? Like, I have no question in my mind that a robot can do a sculpture better than a sculptor. I believe that. Now, will it be more beautiful? I don't know. Will it be more accurate to what the media was? I believe so. So all those things factor in where you're going, see, and it's the same idea where, like, we use like 3D printers and things like that because of the intricacies of them. There's a video of a 3D printing of a lion, and I encourage everyone to just watch this. It's essentially just a recording, and at first it looks like the lion is in a tube and has all these lines everywhere, and you're going, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And when it finishes, it makes a cut, or that you have to cut around the lion because what it did was it was like every few strands of material that it was using to build it, it would connect it. So that's what the mane was. It's the coolest video you can watch. It's very cool. And it's just so it's actually really cool. So it's a miniature lion being 3D printed, and you see when he takes it out that he kind of just pushes all the hair back from the face, and you're like, holy shit, it's so cool.
Yeah.
That's something nobody, like my father was a machinist. He made things out of steel. He made incredible things, beautiful things, and there's no technology or machine that would allow him to do that.
Point, there was this thing that they found.
Right?
It was 850 years old, they said, and it was this seal, and you'll have to look that up, that was 3D printed. And it's like 850 years old. And it's like this little seal or something. That's what it looks like. And it's a gray little thing. And it's like on a black ring. They found it.
Yeah.
And it was a 3D printed little thing. And it's this supposedly 850 years old.
See, and there's tons of stuff like that they're finding now where they're going, oh, so that was this, and that was this. And one guy, he was on Rogan, and he was talking about how in this one area, I think it was in Mexico, where they were looking at ruins, and they had one area that it was a reflecting pool, and it was a very, very big pool, but it wasn't very deep. And he's like, well, what do you mean by a reflecting pool? And the guy's like, just points upwards, and he goes, oh. So instead of looking at the stars, they looked at the stars. Yeah. And he goes, yeah.
That is genius.
And you're going,
yeah.
Oh, that's actually genius. I'm an idiot. I'm like an idiot out here going,
oh, you look down at the water. There
and,
you go.
We're all going,
fuck, we're idiots.
Right. So, and you're going, well, that's the thing is you hear that and you're going, oh, that is actually really smart.
Yep.
And I feel really stupid for not realizing that. Because it's like literally, it's a reflection of...
Well, they built the Colosseum.
Ta-da!
Like,
and you're like...
where the fuck did that technology come from? There's no architects, there's no, that we know of that went to all these fancy schools.
That's... so I've been to the Parthenon in Greece. I've been to the Acropolis. It's incredible. Me and Victoria, for our first anniversary, we went to Greece. It was the first time I ever took her. And we sat, where the Parthenon is, on the side of it, so essentially, as you're going up to the Parthenon, you can detour, and you go to the side of it a little bit lower, and there's a Colosseum, or an amphitheater. And an amphitheater, so there's two that are still working, that one, and there's one in Corinth in Greece. And the one in Corinth is like a few thousand people. I've been there too, and somebody talking, like 150 meters away, they're just talking, and you can hear them perfectly at the back of the amphitheater. It's incredible. Now, and that's the thing is, you do that, and I've been to the Parthenon multiple times, and you're looking going, oh, this is fucking crazy. You're just going, how is this possible? And then they explain to you what they suspect. They would carve these blocks perfectly, then carve a hole in the middle that was square, okay? And this thing was, we're talking 2.5 meters in diameter. And it's marble.
Yeah, that's
okay, and another 1.5 meters tall. And they would pick it up, square it up to the square, drop it, and this thing is every piece was different because they actually bowed like that. It was very, and you're going,
yeah, and where did that come from?
Who fucking did this shit, right? And that's why you're going see, and that's the one advantage that I see with AI, is that history now becomes constant present, where we have instant knowledge to everything that's been recorded, and then it kind of eliminates the idea of to the victor writes the history or shit like that, where you're going, well, now we kind of open things up that you can't, we're seeing a lot more now where you can't really deceive people. That eventually things keep on coming out, and this is, in my opinion, is that the best part about this. Is the fact that
makes people more real.
Everything's coming out
You know, it makes people
Right?
show their true colors a little bit. Like, you can't really hide who you are, especially with technology nowadays. Like, fuck. That's why I'm out with everything right away. I'm like, okay, so everybody, I did this, and this, because eventually you're all going to find out, and I don't want you to use it. No.
See, and that's like the weird part is like there was I think the other day a teacher got fired because he was teaching through Zoom, but he forgot to close one of his tabs, and that tab was like busty university girls or something. Yeah, and you're like, and he was teaching. You're
that
like,
sucks.
not okay, dude, not okay. Yeah, and so you're saying going, well, this is some fucked up shit, right? But that's why it's like, I don't know, like, the idea of something else holding us accountable, I think is fantastic. But something else having the power to govern.
It was hard before AI.
Very scary.
I think it was hard before AI. Like, even human beings being able to make these decisions for us. Like, we're all human, you know, and yet we all listen to one guy telling us when we have to take out our guard, one person telling us when we have to do this, when we can go to, you know, and we listen to those people, you know, to this group of people that are all just people like us. And have their own really best interests at heart, you know, because these guys aren't leaders. They live in the one society. When you're a politician, especially politics, you get raised as a politician. Usually, your family is somewhat in politics, and you get raised in that lifestyle. You don't ever get raised on the street. You don't get raised, you know, going to a low-income school. You don't get raised going to like. So you see one track of life, and you don't get access to all these different cultures, all these different beliefs, all these different... Like, I think a true leader should have the willingness to learn every possible culture, every belief, be open to it all, and see the relevance and importance to the individuals that believe in it. And same with AI. We have to see the relevance and the importance to us and the harm to us. Like, it can be really cool, because like you said, it could allow us a chance to go out and be creative and do what we want to do with this life, other than just spending all our time at work and then at school, and spending all this time on school projects, like you said. And like, these kids have no time just to go out and play outside and be creative, and then because we want them to do all this work, and then we yell at them for being on the computer so much, you know. Like, you know, well, you can be on the computer so much, but it can only be for this, and then you know, but then wonder about the kids in the job things. Okay, it's great, we allow them to take those jobs, but wonder if those jobs are somebody's heart, you know, like, as somebody really wanted to do that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to be able to save lives. They didn't want to they don't want to be a machine to do it. They wanted to hands-on be able to come up with the cure for cancer. You know, so it's so hard.
No, I agree. And that's, I you know what, I think the real thing we want to break away from in all of this is specifically that, you know, we're all individuals, and that's been pretty good up until the last couple hundred years. That worked out pretty decent. You know, and the fact is that we're all trying to achieve the same thing, you know, a peaceful, beneficial existence where we contribute to life is a great thing. It's a great thing to aspire to, and you know, I think the bottom line is that, you know, ultimate power ultimately corrupts. We know that. That's a fact, and we're seeing it now where the truth is being revealed on a daily basis. And it's great, I think. I'm worried about giving somebody else the wheel for anything, just for the simple fact, like, even the idea of an autonomous car, you know, are there benefits? Tons of benefits. But what we really have to come down to, it's not just about the benefits. It's about what
giving
it's going to cost us
an
as
outlook,
humanity,
or giving pedophiles a break, an easier way to kidnap kids, because they don't have to drive the van; they just can grab the kid.
Yeah, and that's exactly. There's some really rough. And that's not to shy away from anything that's hard like that, because we will discuss very difficult topics, and I'm excited for those as well. But it's more so that there's nothing wrong with trying to be yourself. There is something wrong with trying to dominate someone else to be what you told them to be. That's what's wrong here, and that's what we're seeing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And we're just about out of time, so I'm gonna say that. Yeah, just that, guys, we aren't all in this together. We're all different. But to win,
100%.
we need to be in this all together. And that's really what our challenge is today, is that being able to see someone else's opinion, and if we can't understand it, then still be able to listen and empathize and move forward together, not as opponents, but as teammates, because... we're not getting out of this alive. We're only here for how long we're here.
100%.
So that's my thought. Anyways, that's been Morning Motivational Rant. You can follow me and Dino the Genetic Marvel. These are all getting posted in the next week or so.
You can find me at Simply
Crystal,
Me
where
on
can everyone
YouTube,
find you?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those social media.
Awesome. We're going to have a few announcements. There are some
the drive-in theater will be happening
soon-ish,
soon. We'll let everybody
maybe.
know the schedule for that. July 11th will be hopefully our day, 7-Eleven.
Absolutely. Very exciting. Much better than the alternative 11 number. So
Anyways.
Just saying. Anyways, that's been
Bye,
us, guys,
guys.
and we'll see you in a couple days.